Hello? Can you hear me? Yes? Cycle time is the best time, right? Yes? Let's have a good time with cycle time. So there's going to be a lot of cycle time jokes. Well, we'll see. But I'm Tomek. Nice to meet you all. I think this is my fourth would be Agile Swarming that I've been to. Started in remote, and then here we are. Always enjoy coming to the beautiful city of Krakow. Yes, better when it's warmer outside, but I do enjoy coming here. And today, I'll talk to you about cycle time and why I believe it's the only metric that really matters. All the other ones are okay, but this one is the best. And I'll take you on a journey, and I hope I'll convince you, and you'll also believe me when I say that cycle time is the best time. Okay, let's see. So let's start with a story. I joined a company, and I went and I heard some things. Teams are slow. And I asked, what do you mean that teams are slow? Well, the pace is not great. They're not moving fast enough. Based on what? Well, based on my feeling. I think they're not fast enough. So how fast do you want them to be? As fast as we used to be. And this created a lot of interesting conversations, but then I went further. I started analyzing, looking, and I thought, like, how about let's look at the teams? And I saw the constant next sprint trap, that it's okay, we didn't finish it this time, we'll finish it next sprint. Or the quarterly replanning, as I called it. We use quarterly plans, but we use them to replan our previous plan. So it's always usually the same thing, just moving from quarter to quarter, and then other things pile on, and you have this beautiful pile of stuff that some people don't even remember where it came from. And many others where, like, the backlog of doom, have you ever experienced the backlog of doom? The backlog that never ends. It's like, there was this important thing. There it is. The backlog of doom. It continues and it grows. And it grows. Pro tip, it's good to have a WIP limit on your backlog, but we'll come to that in a second. And of course, the self-organization, one of the biggest myths of agile organizations and agile teams is that teams will always be self-organize or death. And unfortunately, that's also many times not the case. I mean, many of the problems we now see with teams is that we always assume a team is self-organized. Well, when you come to a conclusion, well, they're not ready for that. It takes time. It takes a lot of work to get teams to be self-organized. So I thought to myself, there's all these assessments. There's like these funky charts. Have you seen those with the spider webs? I used to work in consulting for 6 years. This company that starts with M, ends with INSI. Yeah, a lot of good things were done by this company for sure. So we did a lot of these different maturity assessments, and they look at all these dimensions. But I ain't got time for that. I need to find a way to focus. I need to find something to catch on. I thought, cycle time. Cycle time is the best time, right? Okay, there you go. You got it. I just started the story. So I took the teams. I looked at the teams. I looked at their cycle time scatter plot. Has anyone ever seen this before? Any scatter plot fans in the room? When I say scatter, you say plot. Scatter, scatter. There we go. Hang on. See? Great. This is a cycle time scatter plot. This isn't difficult to make. I, of course, cheated here, and I use a tool, which you can ask me later what it's called. I don't know. But I used the tool. But when I did this exercise, I did use an Excel to do it, like someone mentioned right before lunch. What does business like? They like an Excel. So I used an Excel to do this as well. So what does this wonderful scatter plot show us? This is time. This is a real team over time. And what that says that for 85% of their work that they do, they finish it in 25 days or less. So 85% of their work is finished in 25 days or less. But, well, There we go. But what about, this is nice, this right here, perfect place. What about 2-week sprints? They work in 2-week sprints. So what's going on? Huh? The reason is they never look at data. They don't care. They don't care. They just continue. They just move it to the next sprint. It's okay to move it to the next sprint. It's okay to move it to the next quarter. It's always okay if we don't build it in the 2-week sprint. So this didn't take me so long. This was like one night I was bored. I took an Excel, used some stuff, and here it is, and I calculated this. And then I did it with every single team in the organization, the total of 10 teams. And this is one of the best performing charts I got. 25 days for 85% of items was one of the best results in a team that was proud that they work in Scrum. They do 2-week sprints. They got all their stand-ups ready, you know, they use a stand-up bot, and they got Jiras, and they got all that stuff, you know, we're really good in Scrum. We'll get to that in a second. So what I thought is like, no, this is not working. The real reason here is that the items are too big. The items are too big. They're working in big batches. Who likes big batches here? It's a trick question. The answer is no. Big batches are bad. No. If you like big batches, there's another conference organized by Scrum Alliance with PM Buck. No, wait, I shouldn't be saying that. Okay. Yeah, those guys like big batches. Big batches, bad. No big batches. Big batches, kill flow. When flow, bad, Tomasz sad. Right? No, don't make Tomasz sad. Don't make Tomasz sad. Big batches, bad. One thing that you have to remember, the only biggest takeaway from this, big batches, bad. So we had big batches. So what did I do? I organized a pizza party. We called it the big refinement. I brought all the teams into a single big room, and we said, for the full day today, we're going to do one thing. We're going to slice. We're going to slice. We're going to slice and slice some more. We're going to cut our stories. We're going to cut all of them. Everyone will cut their stories to be small. And I said, you have to use a very simple formula. I created a nice cheat sheet. The slicing and breaking stories down sheet with an double E, very, not an I, it's in double E, a cheat sheet, right? Simple enough. Start with first, boom, boom, boom. My favorite word here is right size. So I said, guys, let's not overcomplicate this. Make sure every single item in your backlog you can do in 7 days or less. It's simple as that. It's a yes or no question. There is no philosophical discussion about it. 7 days or less, that's it. That's the only measure of success for now. Because your cycle time is so bad, let's begin slicing. I gave them a lot of nice spilling strategies, asked a lot of nice questions. They all got these nice A4s printed. They went into rooms, they sit with teams, and I gave them how to get started. I made it, again, very simple. Old school, new school, old school, new school, simple. This is what do we call this? Iterative thinking, right? I say iterative, you say thinking, iterative. Okay, we'll work on that one more time. Iterative, there you go. And what did I use? Everyone's favorite tool of the day? ChatGPT. With ChatGPT, slicing becomes very simple. So we took epic by epic. We picked the first epic. We picked the first story. Then we're using Roman voting, thumbs down, thumbs up, thumb down. I told them, can we do this in 7 days or less? We can't. Ask ChatGPT to slice it. And we pre-programmed ChatGPT to use one of these strategies. And we have put it in ChatGPT, slice it. Once it's sliced, we reviewed it. We saw if it's 7 days or less. Yes, we moved on. In that 1 day of slicing, we sliced each team sliced their whole backlog for the next 2 months for having only small stories of 7 days or less. Simple. Big event. There was pizza, of course. You can't have an agile event without pizza. We have a 2-pizza team, so we had a lot of pizzas. But yeah. So, and then the next thing is once we slice the stories, We had to redo the way we work, or rethink the way we work. So very simple agenda, some theory behind Kanban strategy, a bit about flow, where we talked about why big batches are bad, big batches make Tomasz sad, all that stuff. We did a little practice, we played some games. We talked about visualization and then improvement, where we talked about metrics. Very simple, 2-day workshop, a total of 5 flip charts I showed. Everything else was practice, with the biggest goal there to apply these 3 practices, learn how to actively manage your board, because this is it. The biggest learning I had when I organized it the first time, I didn't have designers in the team, or I missed a BA. And then Murphy's Law came to play. Where did everything go wrong? With one of those 2 people that didn't join. So very important to bring everybody, because during the workshop, the main thing you do is you redesign your whole entire workflow. We don't meet the team where they are and we take some long journey to improvement. We say, it's not working now. You need to start working better from tomorrow. You need to reduce your cycle time, because cycle time is the best time. So we did everything to reduce our cycle time. Many teams had 8, 10 steps in their work. They had ready for code review, test, ready for test, design review, something. There was all this mess. I said, do you really need this? No, because if you have too many steps, that usually means things will batch up, pile up, not bad. Big batches are bad. So all the teams realized that we have to work together to change our workflows. We have to work together to improve cycle time. So after we did the big refinement and we did these flow workshops, I never used the word Kanban, I never used the word Agile. I just call these flow workshop, where they all left the day and they changed their whole Jira boards, their whole setups the next day to optimize for cycle time. Remember this chart? After that, within a week, I took 4 weeks, we reduced it to 9 days or less. So we went from 25 days to 9 days or less. And of course, I'm sure there's people in the room saying, oh, this is not good. This is not what Agile is about. No, Agile is about self-organizing teams, quarterly plannings, stand-ups, sit-downs, reviews, all that stuff. No, unfortunately, when you ask anybody around why they like Agile, it's customer centricity, speed, efficiency, effectiveness, predictability. Those are the things that they associate agility with. So I pushed for that. We achieved that. So was my job done? Could I say, thank you, I'm done? Unfortunately not. That's where it is. This is the whole thing about this talk, is that what happened when we focus on cycle time, we reduce cycle time. I keep using this expression, we drain the pool, or that was the surface. Reducing our cycle time uncovered some scary things. Some of them was, I worked a bit with ChatGPT here. It changed what I wrote. I said shit in, shit out, but they said garbage in, garbage out. So it's more politically correct. But you can easily fall into that trap, right? Like, you're now focusing so much on cycle time, you will fall into that trap of just grabbing things from the shelf and throwing them through the process as quickly as you can, without really understanding or discovering what you want to work on. So when we introduced the discovery process, we added that to our flow. So we didn't make 2 separate flows, a discovery flow and a delivery flow. We brought those together. So we wanted to stick to those now 10 days or less, because we added turned out we need a bit more time, where we stay focused on the cycle time, on the full thing. Without CI/CD, you always fall into big batches. So if you do weekly releases, monthly releases, quarterly releases, annual releases, that's big batches. Big batches, bad batches. No. I had a couple of teams game the system. One of my favorite one was they would not put anything in progress on right before the weekend, because we calculate cycle time by by calendar days, not working days, because nobody really cares. None of your customers, users care whether you use work days or calendar days. We use calendar days. Why calendar days? How many of you ordered something online? Yes. When they give you 14 days, you'll get something in 14 days. Do you think that's 2 weeks or 3 weeks? 2 weeks. You never look at, when you see that 14 working days, who gets annoyed with that? I do, of course. And your customers, your users, whoever you build things for will also get annoyed when you tell them something will be here in 7 working days. Come on, like, let's be adults here. Days are days. So, well, they started gaming the system. They would not put anything in progress on Thursdays and Fridays to have more time. Oh yeah, okay, fine. So we had to really explain that this is data without context. You have to look. We can't just focus on data because people will game the system. It's about understanding the reason behind it. Create a little role clarity here. If everyone is responsible for it, no one is responsible. Unfortunately, this goes back to a bit of self-managing teams. Many teams do need a manager and need someone who helps them, to push them forward, to create clarity, to focus on the right things. Because if everyone is responsible, my experience, you might have a different one, of course, then no one is responsible. It's like a bit like with children or schools and stuff like that. Next, beware of the quality trap. That's probably a lot of you thought of that. If we push things too fast, we will fall into the quality trap. And we're experiencing a bit of that now. We have, and I like to look at data, we have now 30% of the work that the teams do is bugs. That's not good. So we're at a cost of increasing our cycle time. We said, let's be more diligent in the work we do. It's okay to increase it. Maybe we push too hard. Right, visualize the work. Duh. Who doesn't visualize their work? Wow, okay, we gotta talk, or not. Let's not, I don't wanna. What do you do then? Okay, never mind. That's different. And then finally, you drain the pool. Once you uncover that cycle time, you're getting things done. They're not always the right things, but they're getting done. You start exposing more things about quality, about psychological safety. All these things to come to the surface because you remove the primary problem, which was speed. You remove that. So now you can really focus on more important things than just getting work done. You can really focus on building stronger teams. Don't chase the metrics, chase the learning. So it's not also just try to constantly review, like what are we learning from this? What's the context behind it? Don't just chase the metrics. And so taking too much cycle time may damage your health. If you can really easily damage your team's health if you just focus on cycle time. But if you have to start somewhere, start with cycle time, because cycle time is the best time. That's really where it comes from. So with that, how do you get started? Easy. Get an Excel. Get the Jira add-on. You can easily clickety click, bing, bing, bang, bang, bang. It will populate this and start with ChatGPT. You can really get a lot of this data out very easily. It can help you create formulas that will calculate things for you. So you can find the start and the finish, get cycle time, visualize it. Boom, easy as that, really. Don't create excuses not to look at the cycle time of your teams if you don't have the tools. All you really need is this, and that's it, even in remote. So with that, that's me bowing when I was young, when I had more hair, and I could fit into a tuxedo. Well, that's it. Thank you very much. Questions? Is that time? I have. Yes. No hard questions, okay? No, I'm kidding.
Okay, nothing hard. I wanted to ask, do you have any approach to splitting tasks that are really hard to split? At least that's what my team says. We were really heavy splitters, so I think we are really good at it. But we had major releases recently, big things happening, and they said, okay, we could split that, but it would mean that we'll be creating pull requests that won't be actually working standalone, right?
Yeah.
So are you for creating such, let's say, smaller pull requests that do not deliver the full functionality, or you are for delivering the functionality in big bunch in this case? If
Big batch
I'm
is
really
like
interested
Tomek
what
said. No. That was, of course, that we also came to that conclusion. So again, it surfaced an idea, and what we did is within 3 weeks, we came to a conclusion that we need feature toggles, and pretty much the team looked at, I think, Launch Darkly, some other tools. We looked at the cost, so we spent 3 weeks building our own feature toggling solution that works for us. So we release things, but we hide them behind a feature toggle, and then we pile up. When it's ready, we release it, right? So we do that, but we don't. Let's say, I don't know, chomikuję. We don't chomikować the features.
Yeah, but
Or gerbling the features. That's the term, like stuffing them up in your cheeks. You know that one term? You know the animals.
but when they say we are not able to split that, what do you say?
Lies.
Okay.
No, ask them, like, what's really stopping you? Like, then what can I do what will be the one thing? Let's find the smallest thing we can get. Because also I push for the 7 days or less, because we work in a very, let's say, friendly environment, very little control, very forgiving customers. Even if we do push things to production that are, it's okay, although that's not what I want to say. But so in our case, 7 days or less is okay. But I have seen teams where 21 days or less is the cycle time you aim for. So play around with that, because 7 days for less is not for everybody, right? It's like my wife used to say, for you, that's a small trip. For me, that's a big mountain. You know, you have to think through that perspective as well. But don't just, set an ambition. Maybe not 7 days, then 21 days, something ambitious that you can go for. And always try to find, what is the smallest thing we can do? What is that? What will make the most sense? And then work with that, and then continuously challenge them and ask them, have you tried it this way? What if we do that? What if we do that? That's what I would do. But they say they can't split it. It's lies. I'm telling you. Big batches, said Tomek.
There's one.
Okay.
So do you use any other metrics to know you are on time with the plan, or based on the cycle time only?
No, of course, I wish. Life would be great. No, we use the 4 standard. So we also look at throughput. That we have a problem. Let's say throughput is what I discovered recently is the hardest to keep stable. So you can easily get your cycle time to be 7 days or less, and our throughput jumps up and down like that. And we're working on that. That's why CI/CD became a very important priority, because we realized that without proper automation, without proper testing, without really working on smarter things, we can't get stability in our throughput. So, and we use, all the good stuff that Dan Vicanti and all those others talk about, Monte Carlo simulations and all that stuff. We use that. So yeah, we use cycle time and throughput to do any type of prediction or forecasting of the future and how many items, yeah. That answer your question? Ish, semi, 50-50, 85% good? Okay. How about this side? Any questions? That's great. Okay, that's good. That's a comment. Okay, any more questions?